You know what I mean? He's trying to prevent the next 12 to 15 years of his life of making the same repeatable mistakes.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I saw.
Right.
Frederick, are you there?
Yes, I be.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get you up on the screen, brother. Let me see how we do this. No, I know I can get you up on the screen. Hold on a minute.
That. Well, hold on.
There we go.
Let me slide my camera. There we go.
All right. So, what do you think?
I mean, I have been in agreement with y'all, to be honest with you, because I mean, like you, TJ, I mean, the minute he said, I was screaming at myself too, because I mean, honestly speaking, that's like me saying the same thing to myself, or me now saying things to people that are guys that are younger than me now. Dude, just chill out, be quiet, listen for a second, listen to what this guy, what this, I don't know. It's what kind of grinds my gears a little bit now is that when you try to talk to the older to the younger guys and try to put knowledge on them, you know, knowledge from experience, from experiences, you know, well earned and hard won knowledge, you know, they shrug that off like they don't want to hear that. Like, look, old time, I ain't trying to hear what you got to say.
Right.
Or better yet, you know, I don't want to. I ain't trying to move in that manner. But sir, I'm asking you, telling you to move in that manner so you can avoid some pitfalls, avoid some pitfalls early. You don't want to walk in the same pitfalls that I walked in, because you walking toward that path. I don't know. You know, it grinds my gears a little bit when I talk about that, because of, like I said, because of, you know, how I was raised, and plus how I try to impart stuff to not only my sons, but also to other guys that are younger than me. You know, everybody wants to take the quick and easy way out. You know, well, you know, if you want to do that, then bake a cake, or better yet, shop on Amazon, or do something else that doesn't require a lot of thought. But if you want to go take it the right way, listen to what I'm telling you and apply the knowledge, and then maybe you might be able to avoid those pitfalls. And then if you do get into that pitfall, now you know how to handle it.
Yeah, definitely. And my thought, you know, my thoughts on that, especially when I'm listening to Kevin and watching a young man, is I'm listening to also Kevin's. I'm listening to his frustration, because he knows what's going to happen with this young man if the young man doesn't at some point absorb the information and apply it. He knows. And when you know something like that, let me tell you something. I talked about greatness. Kevin was great. You know what I mean? Sometimes greatness is impatient. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's very impatient. And sometimes it's hard to get taught by. Why do you think a lot of, you know, great athletes can't go into coaching? Deion Sanders has proven to be the exception, but most great high-level athletes can't coach. They don't have the patience. They don't understand why you can't do what they do. And when you have a brilliant mind, sometimes a brilliant mind can't understand why your mind can't function like that mind can. Kevin had a brilliant mind. So you had a couple things there at stake there. But here, this video is an example of the fight for the image. He's seeing a young man, a young, good-looking man who probably has some potential there. You know what I mean? And he's trying to lay down, but we got this generational thing. Let's take another look at it, or continue to take a look at it. Hold on a second.
Y'all talk this, we ain't got it shit like you ain't got it. And I had suits. I was made to dress appropriate because when we were younger as Black people, we still had the church. And we had at least one place to go every week to where we looked good. One. And this has been since the turn of the last century. So miss me with this ghetto broke bullshit. Miss me with the they did it in the 50s and 60s and still got lynched bullshit. That is revisionist history. If they had been on the Edmund Pettit.
If you guys, he's talking to Sway, the guy right up under Kevin Samuels. Look at his face. It's a face of disagreement and confusion about what Kevin just said.
Mixed in with a little disgust.
It might be, but this is a face of not getting it. This is the face of lack of experience, lack of knowledge, lack of teaching, lack of understanding. Just look at him. And I don't fault him entirely. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know.
This bridge with fucking fitted caps, Jordans, t-shirts, tattoos, and shit. No one in the world would have mobilized to stand with us because they wouldn't recognize us like they don't today. Miss me with this, well, these young guys do it when you grow up. No, you do it now because your life is more at risk now. And you don't know what you're talking about. And this is the same issue I have been.
If you saw the guy starts chuckling when Kevin goes, you don't know what you're talking about. I remember being 23. I remember somebody telling me, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't get it. And me laughing at them like, no. And I didn't say it out loud, but in my mind, I'm going, bro, what do you mean I don't get it? I get it. And I'm telling you now, as a guy that's almost 20 years older than this fella at this time, I didn't get it. And neither did him. But you can to a degree, and I'm going out on a limb right here by saying that you can almost tell the guys that were not raised with the male influence because they flat out reject. That's the thing we accuse our ladies of all the time: rejecting new information, not accountable, unwillingness to learn, being willfully uncooperative. This is what you're seeing in that chuckle and stuff like that. And I'm guarantee you he's reacting not what he's hearing per se, but what he's feeling about what Kevin is saying. Kosher, you think that's a fair assessment?
Yeah. So yeah. There's some truth to what you're saying. A lot of truth, but there's a lot of nuance to it too.
Go ahead.
This young man actually has a father. He said he had a suit. But I think he was perturbed by Kevin at the time by the way he felt like he came at him, and but he does have a suit. He does have a father. And I think he has a grandfather too. So he talked about it later in the stream, like, I have a dad and a grandfather. But it's like two things can be wrong, right and wrong at the same time. Kevin's intention was noble. His intention was to talk about personifying the black male image. But Sway thought, okay, God, get it, but why are you so, you sound like you're hostile. So it's interpretation, but it's interpretation is how he received the information. But I think what Kevin was saying, it was in good faith. But then also I think the young man took him being a little aggressive, but this young man definitely has a father and he has a grandfather too. But you are correct about the generation gap and how there is a remnant of young men that when you try to educate them, because I've heard young men call, older gentlemen like you and I, well, you're not older, you're younger than me, but they call us old ninjas, which I think is very disrespectful, dismissive. They're called men that paved the way before them old ninjas. And that's why what we're trying to do now, we're trying to more or less start a new movement, start a new conversation about reestablishing the black male image. The black male conclave that I was at with Obsidian, a lot of the brothers was very powerful. Brother Shannon Rawls and Jason Brown and the Soul Sartorialist, and also Carnell Smith. It was good. It was a conversation. It was very powerful, man. And like I said, I sent you the video anytime you get ready to.
Hold on, let me play it. I got it.
Okay.
know the Tar Heel State great state in the union, but y'all see me with this Leo Tar Heel State, man. We know the Tar Heel State great state in the union, but y'all see me with this Leo swag. I got some heavy hitters in the house. That's the style Sartorius. Look at that fine brother, man. He got that Leo swag. We got my man Carnell Smith, the fraternity coach. I call him the Napoleon Bonaparte, or what they say in France, Toussaint L'Ouverture. No, this is Toussaint L'Ouverture, guys. This is Toussaint L'Ouverture. Look at my man Nathan Dayton. My man Nathan with that Pisces swag, man. He's fresh and fit. You know, he fit. He's smooth. Got that chocolate skin. Hey, you know that melanin popping, man.
Hey man, I'm just the man next to the man right here. That's all.
But you know, guys, this is a grand occasion, man. The Style Sartorius, a very brilliant brother. You know, we're doing great things at this conclave, man. Style tactician, you know. Man, look at that swag, man. He got that Leo swag, man. You know, he got that Leo swag. And my man Carnell Smith is doing the Yemen's work. His work is predicated on male empowerment.
We're doing our best
no doubt.
to keep men and boys out of jail and prison.
Yes, sir.
For pregnancies they didn't commit.
No doubt, no doubt. Starting with you, Carnell. You know, we talk about male empowerment all the time. We talk about the importance of male empowerment.
Yes.
This conference has been phenomenal, to say the least. What have you gotten from this conference, brother Nathan? Get in the middle too, man.
Absolutely.
What have you gotten from this conference?
The most positive thing that I've seen is this is a phenomenal opportunity to counter the narrative that black men don't support black men.
Yes, sir.
When this is a fallacy, and here in this environment, we see men uplifting each other, supporting each other. Look, coaching, mentoring, dropping.
Hold on real quick. I wanted to kind of jump in on what he just said there. The fallacy that black men don't support black men. Typically what I found to be, you know, black men, we're very leery of a lot of stuff. You know, we're very, man, we are leery. So when you see brothers putting their money and their time behind something, that's an indication of that's the validation that brothers are, that this is acceptable. So a lot of times, you know, you might not verbally hear, you know, guys, you know, cheerlead or whatever the case may be, but watch where they put their money, watch where they put their time. That's the validation. That's the validation. We're gonna come back to that in just a second. I want to finish up this Kevin clip, and I want to jump it. Hold on, before I go any further, because you know I be on people about not acknowledging these super chats.
Money making is my thing, because I'm trying to be rich, trying to put away meals.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. All right, shout out to Craig Lamar. What's up, brother? I'm glad to see you back with the $2 super chat. Hold on, suited and booted, absolutely. Look, we were dirt poor too growing up, man. Dirt poor. But you know, we had all them purple and blue and black and white and beige. So my grandmother kept, you know, that, you know, you had to look good going to church. She didn't care if you look good going to school. She didn't care if you look good walking around outside. But when you went to church, haircut, grease on the face, pressed suits, you know what I mean? You know, nothing out of order. So absolutely. So suited and booted, I get that. But thank you, man. I guess you found your last $2 and you wanted to share them with me. So here we go.
These last $2.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. And shout out to Gregory Scotland again with the $10. The brother is supporting Roy. This is one reason why there has to be a separation in black community. The existing one cannot continue. Yeah. No saving, no damn community, no pro-black baby mamas or simps or non-productive men. And maybe, and brother, that's a whole stream, you know, in itself. Let me see. This one cannot continue. I mean, you know, part of me goes, I don't know how much choice do we have? You know, it's Angry Man about 2 months ago did a stream about should black men just pack up and walk away? And when he did that stream, man, I seen a brother who struggled with just the notion of it. When he was outlining his thesis throughout that stream, Angry Man is usually very confident and bold in his statements, in his ideals, and his philosophy. But this was the first time I ever seen him conduct a stream with trepidation. Any black man, when you say to him, walk away from his black female sisters, his head intellectually understands why that's a thing. But that heart takes his breath away. The notion of that, you know what I mean? The notion of that going, am I really considering this right now? And you're looking and you're assessing, you're looking over the landscape. And it's kind of like when God was thinking about destroying the world for a second time, and he's looking over the landscape, trying to find somebody that could redeem his people. You know what I mean? Right. And God's sitting there going, am I really doing this? You know what I mean? And, and thank God for Jesus saying, Father, send me. I'll go. When they couldn't find a righteous man to do that. So black men, when we hear, I hear the mantras of black men, save yourself, go your own way, the passport bro movement, which I will never poo-poo. You know what I mean? Because the question is, how much of your life do you give to wait on a sister to get on your program?
Right. Yes, sir. Right.
But even that statement, if you are a brother who loves your women, which I do, it takes your breath away. Yeah.
Well, that goes back, River Bravado. Dr. Wim Glasser talked about, so reality therapy is a treatment model that's used mostly for kids, but it can also be applied for adults. Dr. Glasser said that needs drive behaviors, and Dr. Glasser said there were 5 elemental principles that more or less pontificate that sentiment. He said it was power, fun, freedom, belonging, and survival. Frederick Douglass said that power never conceded to anything without a struggle. It never have, and it never will. The jousting for power has been since the fall of man, where the woman, according to Genesis, it said that she had a desire for her husband, but he would rule over her. So basically, she wanted power. She wanted to have the same power. And so what people don't understand in a relationship, you can't have a relationship where you have 2 heads. One got to lead, one got to follow. But the problem is, sadly, as I said earlier, some, not all, but there's a percentage of our sisters, not all, that have been compromised by liberal dogmas and liberal ideologies. And so when you look at people that voted for policies that were antithetical to the unison of black men and black families, black men, after Kevin Samuels passed away, and there was a percentage of women celebrating, brothers said, okay, the hell with it. We see now that these women are not necessarily our women, because Tavis Smiley said that all skinfolk ain't kinfolk. And Jesus even said that just because they were Jews in ethnicity, they were not circumcised from the heart. So we got to get away from the spirit's notion that just because a person has the color of skin, they're of the same when it comes down to consciousness. The prophet said, who is my brother? He said that he that does the will of the Father, that's my brother. So that superseded Jewish hue and also Jewish ethnicity. It was about a heart and a consciousness that superseded the exterior. And sadly, many, not all of our sisters, but there's a percentage that have not been trained to be wives or been taught to be wives. They don't understand the importance of being on a man's program. I'm not talking about dusty men. I'm not talking about men that are not doing the work. I'm not talking about men that abuse power, because as I said earlier, it's always under that veneer that he's going to abuse power, and it's the color purple narrative. But I'm talking about a man that has shown himself worthy. He's a kind man. He's a good man, and he want to lead you. But as I said earlier before in the past on prior shows, Real Bravado, a woman cannot be ready for the office of wife until she learns how to control her feelings. She got to control her feelings for the greater mission of that relationship, because consistent with the scripture, she is bone of his bone, flesh of his flesh. The woman was made for man. Man was not made for the woman. The man is not an accessory to the woman, but the woman was made to support the man, and then to help that man become the better version of himself. But I see it all the time in therapy, Real Bravado. Many men are suffering in silence. They don't challenge bad behavior. And therefore, instead of them leading their women in love, they are worshiping their women in subjugation. And those are two distinct or different things.